In this video tutorial, I'll show you how you can create a simple animation using HTML5 canvas element. This is how our animation will look like. It is basically a two-dimensional animation in which a ball is moving in a straight line, bouncing back to the walls of the rectangle. We use Netbeans for creating this animation, and we create a new HTML file. Let us name this HTML file as Ani1. Let us give the title as canvas animation. Create a section within the body of the HTML. Create a division within the division. Here basically I'll add a canvas element to a web page and then use JavaScript to draw on it. I will redraw it after every 10 milliseconds to create the magical illusion of animation. Now for basic syntax for creating a canvas is this. Canvas ID is equal to canvas. The width and height of the canvas is specified as non-negative integer. Let the width be 400 and height be 300. It's not necessary that all browsers will support HTML5 canvas element. This message is displayed if your browser doesn't support HTML5 canvas element. Now we use JavaScript to draw on it. For moving into JavaScript, we need to define script type is equal to text/JavaScript. Here we'll create various variables inside a JavaScript like variable canvas, variable context, variable x, and initialize it with 400, variable y, and initialize it with 300, variable dx, variable dy, variable width. The variable width has value same as that of the width of the canvas. Variable height. The variable height has same value as the height of the canvas. The functionality of these various variables will be explained later on in the functions. Now we define the first function named as function initialization. Here we get the element ID from the DOM for the canvas whose ID is equal to canvas and store it in the variable named canvas. Now we get an object in the form of the context of our canvas which allows us to do stuff with it in JavaScript. That is ctx is equal to canvas dot get context Here we specify 2D, where 2D refers to two-dimensional. Basically, our animation is two-dimensional, hence we have specified 2D within the get context parameter. Now we call the setInterval function which calls a function or expression after a specified interval of time. Here this setInterval function calls the draw function after every 10 milliseconds to create the magical illusion of animation. Now we define the rectangle function, which will create a rectangle that has same size as that of the canvas. The various parameters included in the function is x, y, w, h, where the values of x and y are specified already. Here, the begin path method basically makes sure that we are starting a new path every time the function draw is called. Here, the ret function is called recursively. Now we use ctx.fill. The fill method fills the rectangle with the color we will define in the fillStyle attribute of our draw function. Next, we define a circle function which will create a circle which represents the ball inside our animation. Here xy represents the center. Here xy represents the coordinates of the center of the circle and r represents the radius of the circle. Here begin path method represents make sure that we are starting a new path every time. Here the arc function is used to define the shape and size of the circle. The first two parameters of the arc function x and y represents the coordinates of the center of the function circle, r represents the radius of the circle, and 0 represents the start angle. Here 0 is in radians, and pi 2 star pi represents the end angle, which is 360 degrees, which represents a complete circle. The 2 represents the value true represents the anti-clockwise direction of the circle. Next we use the fill method, which fills the closed path with the color defined by the value of the fillStyle attribute of the context object, which we'll later define in the draw function. Now we define the clear function, which uses the clearRect method to erase everything inside a rectangle that has the same size as that of the canvas. The two opposite corners of the rectangle to be cleared are specified as 0, 0 and width and height. Next we define the draw function, which is the heart of our script and beeps once every 10 milliseconds. Within the draw function, we call the clear function, which is used to erase everything inside a rectangle that has the same size as that of the canvas. After we clear the canvas, the fill style for the context is set to the color that we want the canvas background to be. It basically gives the color of our rectangle. If it basically gives the color of a rectangle, let us give it as gray. Now we call the rect function for creating a rectangle that has the same size as that of the canvas. Now back in the draw function, we change the fill style attribute to the color that we want a circle to be. Here we specify the color of the circle to be navy. Now we call the circle function, which has a radius of 10 and whose origin is at xy. Now to move the circle, to create the magical illusion of animation, we just need to change the values of x and y. The variables dx and dy determine how much to change x and y by each time we execute the draw function. We change x by the value of dx as long as x plus dx is not greater than the width of the canvas or s plus dx is less than 0. If it is, then we reverse it by making dx is equal to minus dx. That is, if x plus dx is greater than the width or x plus dx is less than 0, then dx is equal to minus dx. Do the same for y plus dy, height. The y attribute will be related to the height of the canvas. Otherwise increment x by dx and y by dy. Now we call the initialization function, which we declared in the first part. Now close the script. Now end the section using end tag. Now save this file using Ctrl S and check whether we get the output or not. Yeah, this is a 2D animation in which a ball moves in a single line. Here the color of the circle we specified as navy and the color of the background, that is a rectangle, we specified as gray, getting our desired animation. Thank you.